Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome back to another solo video, this time taking on Sigmascape V2 on the Savage difficulty. Being this raid tier is themed after Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remasters coming out the day I'm posting this to YouTube, I just wanted to see if I could catch up on any of the solos I hadn't finished. I got pretty close to being done with Phase 1 in V4S, and V3S might need another tier of item level because it's a very annoying fight to solo, but this one I did manage to do successfully. Now, I was just going to end this intro here and post this, however, I've actually already posted this video onto YouTube, and much like with my Sigmascape V1 Savage video, it was instantly claimed by some like Latin American music company that does not actually have the rights. In fact, the other video, I actually kept it offline and filed a claim, and they never disputed it. So that video, clearly it's just automated, and they're just trying to do that thing where they rake in, like, you know, revenues from videos for things they don't actually own rights for. So I didn't really have much of a choice. So I have to do something transformative. My options are to A, replace the music, which is not good for the material usage rights for Final Fantasy XIV, or to provide some commentary over it. So sorry if you were looking for just a nice chill video regarding the game with the music and it's cool and it's chill, and I got to do something or I can't even post it to YouTube. So yeah, I'm just going to provide some commentary about the solo here and maybe talk about some of the other solos that I haven't completed while I'm at it. Alright, so this encounter actually took me a couple tries because there were a few things I forgot, a few flubs I made. Realistically, this is a pretty easy solo. There's only really 2 times you take a whole lot of damage. It's just that at this current item level, even with the free echo that it gives you, it's just a little bit tight on the DPS check. A couple things, I'm in here as warriors, so popping Infuriate as soon as I go into battle here, it's a nice little fun thing to do. This fight was always so weird because it puts you in combat for the first 15-20 seconds before you can actually even fight anything. So one of the few fights where you can do kind of weird, elongated openers, even though it wasn't that crazy popular back in Stormblood when it initially released. Other than that, the start here is just a standard opening burst. There's nothing too fancy. Now, I was kind of surprised. All of Sigmascape, minus a few particular things, actually doesn't deal a whole lot of damage. I mean, I guess we're 2 expansions over this stuff at this point, so I shouldn't be that surprised. But I thought the damage incoming was going to be a little bit higher here outside of one particular mechanic. But it ends up not really being the case. And because of that, the entire painting mechanic, I can almost entirely avoid. You'll see me do it on occasion. I think I do actually grab the water here and get it for the water resistance. But quite frankly, it really doesn't matter. It also didn't matter that I did it at the same time because I just weaved it between a GCD, so it doesn't really matter. Those wind tornadoes, don't need to do them. The biggest thing I think that's enabled me when it comes to soloing is probably realizing the things I don't have to do. Some of the hardest fights to solo were because I was trying to do things, like I was trying to do like 1/8 of a mechanic, and it actually made it more difficult than just allowing all 8 of the mechanics to fail. In the case of those wind tornadoes, it's just easier. I mean, it could just keep hitting the boss, keep dealing damage. And when you're this close to Enrage, like this isn't that close because it's a little bit improved from some of my previous ones, but it's not that far off either. You know, if I take too much time away from the boss just to do mechanics, then it's actually going to be quite a problem. One big thing actually that I kind of skipped over in that conversation is the Poltergeist that spawns. Now, that spawns from the goddess of the painting on the other side of the room, and if you're not looking at it, it gradually kind of floats on over. If it reaches you, it kills you. Now, well, at least I assume it will, even at this item level, because I think it was instant death before, but there are some times where stuff like that isn't still insta-kill. Now, she does also try to do a gaze AoE that will force you to walk towards her. Now, I remember in Pugs what we used to do is, because the gaze AoE actually makes you walk towards the goddess, you could just eat it and just look at that direction, and you'd never get close to the ad. But realistically, what you'll see me do anytime a Poltergeist comes out, you'll see me take a few steps forward, keep hitting the boss, but face away from the goddess until I see the Divine Lure has been dodged. And then I'll just continue looking, because there's no reason for me to deliberately not get a few GCDs in. Now, on top of ignoring mechanics, this mechanic right here, normally you're supposed to turn into a Typhon, and you're supposed to blow one of those away to make a safe spot. Again, I don't even bother. The damage incoming is just not high enough for me to care about that Vuln stack. So it's all about just what I can get away with and still be hitting the boss. This Tank Buster, also not anything too major. In the original, you're supposed to bring this away from the group, pop a cooldown, and make sure you didn't blow up anyone while they were all standing in another spot. Here, it's barely even a tank buster at all. I mean, that's true of Demonic Shear, which is the other tank buster as well. Warrior can handle that pretty much all with the solo healing. There's other Poltergeist coming out here, so again, I'm just always facing towards that outside edge. This will be the last Poltergeist for quite some time. So I'm checking the Divine Lure. I move out to do that. See that I've dodged it and go back. This split damage AoE, the only hard-hitting attack in the whole fight. See? I actually mitigated that and then healed through it real quick. But completely unmitigated, it'll be about 50 to 60% of your whole HP as a warrior. So, pretty serious. But you don't need your cooldowns for anything else, so you just pop them there and then heal up after. There's really only one other mechanic other than, I guess, some of the incoming damage, if you just kind of ignore it for a while, that is actually a bit of a pain point, and it's coming up here. So once again, I'm going to completely ignore. I don't know why I decided to do this. I thought I was being clever when I thought of doing this at the last second, but I'm going to need to actually activate the middle painting where you need all 4 of the different colors in order to activate it in the center of the room. So I figured, oh, I'll grab one of the ones that's far away, so I don't have to run all the way over there to get it. But I don't think it really makes much of a difference because I still have to run and grab. Like, I could have done that with any of them and it would have been about the same distance traveled. But I guess I figured I was just making it so once I did the last one, I wouldn't have to run as far. I don't know. It doesn't really check out or make sense. But essentially, I'm just waiting until Lullaby starts casting from the materialized ad. And then you're going to see me do a quick little sprint around the room. I need to activate this, and you need to activate it not super fast, but it does need to be at a decent pace. Basically, if you take too long between one, it'll reset and you'll have to do all 4 again. I actually lost a few attempts to thinking I had activated my paint and finding out that I hadn't. So you're seeing me here just doing that, just grabbing the 4th one. And what this does is this summons this siren. And if you don't summon that siren to cancel out the lullaby, you basically can't heal for the rest of the fight. And listen, this fight doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It does enough that I can't afford to not be able to heal the entire fight. But once you're past that, there's really not much else that's left. It's just about keeping the damage up, making sure that you don't forget to do a Poltergeist, and that's about it. This will get easier and easier with gear. Not that anyone has any particular reason to do this other than the one-time bragging right of saying that you did it. But I'm glad I did it at pretty much the bare minimum item level of like 594. That I realistically could have done it with. I do have the 605 weapon. I do have a decent chunk of gear from the raid tier. Most of it not bis, most of it just whatever I could pick up, like whatever was scraps left over for loot for the week. And yeah, that's about it. Now, unfortunately, as I described at the beginning of the video, I can't just end my discussion here. If the Final Fantasy VI theme starts playing, then that company... It's just, it's such a weird YouTube problem. I'm going to diverge from the solo here. Although I guess technically talking about this, there's just not much I can really do here. I just have to eat the wave because we're not going to lose the uptime from going to get the rock. Dodge that, take the wave, gap close it so you're back at the boss, and then just take one of these and you'll have 2 Vuln stacks and it'll be A-okay. Yeah, it's just something that I've dealt with on YouTube for a long, long time, but with some of the old Final Fantasy themes, it's a little bit more of a problem. But like I said, I filed an appeal against the company's claim last time. They never replied to it because obviously they can't because they're not the right holders. I know who the right holders are, and I'm most of the time using these things under fair use, so there's not much that can really be done by the not copyright holder in the first place. But it is what it is. I just I got to spend an extra 10 minutes just talking over a video at 11:45 p.m. and I wake up at 5:45 a.m. So here I am with that. Now, because there's not really much else to talk about on this fight, again, I'm just going to be ignoring paint mechanics, DPSing the boss, and staying alive through AoEs, Poltergeist, whatever. I do want to talk about the 2 remaining fights in Sigmascape that I have not successfully soloed yet. The first is going to be Guardian 07S. That is an annoying, annoying fight. The biggest thing is there are so many very healthy ads that come from that fight. There are a total of 8 Air Force ads, 8 of the Biblio ads, because you can't do any of the portals to lock them away. 1 actual Biblio itself, which is, you know, pretty chunky of a thing. A Dada Luma and 2 Ultros ads that I need to go through. And they just slow down the boss kill speed. Even with cleaving the boss with AoEs, it slows it down massively to have to kill every single one of those. Now, there is some optimization to be had with that. Fortunately, when it comes to Ultros, you can actually avoid attacking him at all until the Guardian is in the air. So you actually don't lose any uptime on the Guardian itself. So Ultros we're going to consider a non-factor. The Biblio ads, the 8 Biblio ads that you have to do, easily the worst part. It takes about 40 seconds to kill them. Even if I pot and save my AoEs, they're just healthy. They're supposed to only spawn as a failure condition. I just have no choice but to fail and let them spawn. On top of that, they usually get layered on with either a Dataluma or with the Biblio ad itself in the later phase. So you're dealing with these 5 ads plus the boss. About the only advantage there is that you get a lot of healing off of Bloodwetting, but it just adds so much time to the fight. That being said, it's not like it's undoable. The big thing is that how do I describe this? It's just a little bit too little right now. Something interesting about Guardian, though, is that his Enrage doesn't one-shot you. It actually deals 99,999 and then pulses for about 32k a tick. I think it's unmitigatable, the 32k. I'd have to go back and actually look at the footage, but I was like trying to pop shields and vengeance and stuff, and it didn't look like it was lowering it at all. But it effectively gives you however long you can heal through that is however long you actually have to kill the boss. And it makes me think that Paladin could actually solo that. If you can get through the ads in a relatively clean manner, you'd have to be clemency spamming, but I mean, it's very inexpensive MP-wise now to deal with that. So I do wonder if it's actually feasible to solo that on Paladin, but it'll be like an 18, 19, 20-minute fight. I don't have the Paladin weapon, but I might seriously give it a shot. Or I'll wait 5 more weeks and get my Paladin weapon from books or something like that from P4S, and then I'll give it a shot. I could even grab the tome weapon. I think I have the ability to get an I-600 tome weapon now that that might even be the option as well, because I think that even just being able to clemency through, I know it lowers the DPS, but I'm at the Enrage already. So that might be a creative solution to Guardian. Totally doable, and if I don't beat it this tier, it's getting beat next tier. Now, the more interesting one for me, by the way, we're coming up on the end of the fight, so I've almost filled all the time, is actually Kefka. I haven't soloed all the way through to 60% yet. Very, very close. I could probably do it if I optimize a little bit, but at this point, I'm not worried about it too much. The second phase, however, I'm curious about being able... Oh, there we go. Okay. So, funny thing is, my edited video is actually not showing me my footage right now, so I had to kind of guess when I was wrapping that up, but now we're just here to victory screen. Yeah, I think I might have figured out how to get through God Kefka as well, but I need to get there and practice it before I do too much else. But anyway, now that I've filled the time so that the evil fake copyright thing doesn't take me, I'm going to sign off for this video. So thank you for watching. Be on the lookout for more solos in the future, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.